out of the schools. And it is not by chance, it's all systematic. Civics have been taken out of the schools back in 2000 sometime when Ernie Duncan came in and brought in all of the charter schools. So I don't want to really get off of topic right now, but when we're talking about systematic issues at this point, we have to really get to the root of the issues. We need to hold ourselves accountable.
There you go.
Just that simple. We need to slap ourselves on the hand for not doing enough in the community to help each other.
There you go.
We need to make each other aware of the civic process. Yes, let's get our people out to vote, but at the same time, what does that vote mean?
Mm-hmm.
What is democracy today? A lot of people have no clue because one, they either didn't graduate from 8th grade, high school, or college for that matter, and those are the only three times that you have the opportunity to take the U.S. Constitution. Therefore, if you don't take the U.S. Constitution in 8th grade, high school before you graduate, or college before you graduate, when do you seriously understand the process of the American government and how it works?
There's an argument towards that because right now, as we speak, it's not a requirement as strongly as it used to be.
Boom.
As far as Constitution, you can fail the Constitution and you can still graduate.
Who runs the country? Economists and political scientists, let's be clear. Not social workers, not healthcare professionals, not educators. Political scientists and economists. When I was at Chicago State, out of 20,000 students, 54 minors and majors in political science. The president of the school combined the criminal justice and political science department. So let's just continue to dummy down our communities, why don't we?
Right.
Criminal justice majors don't run the country. Political scientists do, and economists.
And we have to be involved in the political process. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, I don't want to get involved in none of that, but you're affected by it every day. And so we have to make sure that we start at the grade school level and teaching young people how to get involved in these things. And so it's not just basketball, it's not just rap music, and it's not just arts and entertainment. We have to have our minds on education also as well, because any arena that Black people enter into that's educated on that system excels. President Barack Obama, perfect example. Even when Reverend Jesse Jackson ran for president, they couldn't touch him on any debates. And so we've proven that we are intelligent. We've proven that we can run businesses successfully, that we can navigate our people in a direction that's going to make them right and righteous. But because we got all these impediments in the way, it's standing in the way between the old school leadership and the youth of today.
State Representative LaShawn Ford.
Yeah, introduce legislation
regarding a recall
for the mayor.
Mm-hmm. It looks like breaking news that State's Attorney
Alvarez?
No, not Alvarez, but Lisa Madigan. I'm sorry. Lisa Madigan is all for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that the daddy
is too.
will bring it up. Now, that won't be a problem downstate. What will be the challenge, you need 2 aldermen to sign it.
There you go.
Which one in the Black Caucus would you think will sign it?
It's kind of hard to say, and I wouldn't want to speculate who that might be, but you got to understand what it's happening now. The mayor is very weakened by these police brutality issues that's going on now. So everybody's positioning themselves for his office, for Anita Alvarez's office. You got Brookins looking at other political positions also as well. You got Tony Preckwinkle, who's president of Cook County, weighing in on what's going on in the city, who's always had a desire to be mayor of the city of Chicago from the time she was alderman. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can find a couple of aldermen that will actually sign on to that. Who that might be, I don't know. But the fact that they had the courage to introduce that legislation or even put it before the table is something that's unprecedented because you didn't see this under Daley's administration.
Well, technically, brother,
Mm.
that it wasn't the Black Caucus that did it. It was
I know.
only state representative.
That's what I'm saying.
John Ford.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
did it.
But that's what I'm
He
saying.
was the sole person that did it.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't even saw that. You didn't see nothing like that under Daley's administration. So the fact that Mr. Ford is standing up, representing our people, he's a voice for us because he hears the cries that are going on right now. Maybe he can spark the lead, or maybe he could be the lead that spark some of the other black political leadership to step up and to follow his lead and do what he's doing.
Do you think that's
Possible that they can get past their own
Yeah.
inflated egos.
they've been funded by the mayor?
Mhm.
It's known in its public record.
Mhm.
Every election, they get money from the mayor. They get their bread and butter from the mayor. Do you think they will actually go out on a limb and say, I hear the people?
I believe that
They will say one thing to you,
I believe that there are two aldermen
okay?
that will do it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because they know that the mayor is weak. There are people in city council that's vying for his position.
And those names are?
Can't tell you who that is. Can't tell you who that is.
Brother. You want to take a wild guess?
Chewy Garcia and them Mix.
Well, Chewy's Cook County
Oh,
Commission.
forgive me, Cook County.
No,
Commission,
it's okay.
yes, but
But you know, Brookings has been pretty strong on a lot of things lately. But there's a Hispanic alderman that stood up the other day after the mayor made his 11-minute speech on the floor of the city council chambers and said, well, I'm not impressed. And you know, it was kind of a bold move. I'm seeing a lot of aldermen suddenly get courage that they didn't have before. So
Well, technically, a Hispanic alderman is going to do that because Danny Solis will be the interim just in case
Mhm.
something happens to Ron Emanuel.
Right.
So if I get like bold and I know somebody that's representing us in the wings, automatically if something happens to the mayor, a recall,
Mhm.
he automatically gets in because he's the interim.
Right.
So-
Until the special election.
Right, until the special election.
Mhm.
So let's say we have the recall election. Do you think we have a game plan for us to represent us? You're shaking your head no. Why?
Yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, I don't think right now we vetted anybody. But go ahead, sis.
And I think unfortunately, a lot of the elders who are currently who currently have the powers behind the scenes, they're all scrambling, trying to get their people in position right now.
Right.
Another group of elders who are a part of the same system and machine that continue to keep our people down. I call them the ones that take us to the slave ship. Those are the elders who have the power right now. And yes, they're lobbying and advocating for their people to come in. May not be another elder, maybe one of their cousins or chic off the block or something like that, and they groom that person up so that they can control them and puppet them around. No different. The reason why we have the disconnect, getting back to the piece where the brother talked about with the elders earlier, is because we have too many elders in Chicago who have taken that bad check, who have drank the bad Kool-Aid
Right.
and don't want to pass the torch or be held accountable and simply just apologize to the community for the wrong that they've done. It's just that simple. Too much money has come through our communities on the south side and the west side of Chicago for elders in this situation to go against the youth at that, instead of embracing them, opening up their arms and saying, you know what? You all aren't going about this the right way. We may not agree with you, but at the same time, we all are brown. We all are the same. We all come from the same thing. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic background is. We come from where we come from, and that's the south side and west side of Chicago, and that is the Black Belt. We can't get away from that. So as the elders on the south side and the elders on the west side get ready to go to head over these positions, it's gonna be a hot mess, just like with the Blagojevich administration. That's what I'm not looking
Do you
forward to
think it
seeing.
will represent what happened in the 80s when Mayor Harold Washington passed away?
A minstrel show.
Wow.
Do you, it was a chaos.
I remember that,
Yeah.
when the black leadership were jockeying for who would be the heir apparent.
Well, that's how
You know.
Mayor Daley
Absolutely, that's how we was
got
able to get in.
Get in. So do you think the same makeup will happen again?
I don't think so, because we have a lot of new leadership that's not of that era. We still got the Harold Washington folks that are around, you know, but we have a lot of new leadership also as well. And I just don't think that the new leadership is taking it no more. The old tricks that used to be played, to play ball behind the scenes, becoming sound like in front of the camera that you are with the protesters, that you are with the march. I just don't think that this new leadership is taking that anymore. And you know, even with the protests here in Chicago, everybody in the world was waiting for Chicago to burn. Watch they burn their own community. Watch they burn down their own stores. Watch they mess up their own community. But we learned from that in the past.
But those aren't our stores at the same time.
That's
We
true.
don't own
That's
those
true.
stores.
That's
We
true.
have no vested interest in those stores. I'll be honest with you, would it have hurt my feelings to see a few of those stores go up? No. Because they sell counterfeit goods, because they engage in link card fraud and continue to capitalize on our community. So no, I have no remorse if a store goes up in the community, and by no means am I
She's
encouraging
not saying
our
that.
people to start setting stores on fire or attacking stores. But all I'm saying is, are these same merchants paying the same taxes in the community? Are these merchants, are they processing the money properly in our communities? Why does this dollar only circulate 6 hours in our community?
6 hours.
Because of those stores, people who don't live in our community, who come to capitalize on our tax dollars.
Well, to add to that, and I'm glad you brought it up, that was one of the questions, leading to Black economics is a big problem in the African American community. According to some Black economists, states $1 circulates among the Asian community banks, shops, and businesses 28 days before leaving their community. Jews, 19 days. WAS, 17 days. Black community, 6 hours. Why money leave our community every 6 hours, and we're the top consumers?
It's crazy, you know, there's a coming back of Black Wall Street. And for those who don't understand what happened to the Black Wall Street in the South, 1921, we had businesses, we had cleaners, we had grocery stores, we had banks, and they were bombed by white supremacists who didn't want to see black people take their money away from their economy and invest it in our own. But we're coming back now. Black Wall Street is coming back now. There are underground meetings at tables weekly about Black Wall Street here in Chicago, on the south side and on the west side of Chicago. And so when you talk about black economics, you got to have a black nationalist mentality, which means, and it's not anti-white, black nationalism is not anti-white, it just means that black people should determine the education of black people. Black people should determine the economics of black people.